Hi folks, John Cordisco back again. Round 13, the last and final round of the 78th edition of Tata Steel Chess. This is the A group, the Masters section. As white, Tomashevsky from Russia, and as black from the US, Fabiano Caruana. We're going to pick it up on move 20. It's a fairly long game. I do want to say while this game is going on, Magnus Carlsen drew his game, I believe, against the Chinese player Ding. He had a rook and bishop against the rook. This is the first time in a classical game in his whole career he's had that. He's defended it, but he's never had the rook and the bishop against the rook, and he had to try, but the young Chinese grandmaster knew what to do, and it drew. So that clinched him the title. So as this game was going on, that game was going on, and they saw it drew. We're on move 20. We're going to pick it up after queen takes b2 for black. This is a Nimzo Indian, if anyone was wondering what the opening was. A bishop takes, knight takes, queen e2. Now, Caruana still wants to win. Don't get me wrong here. He's rated 2787 before he came to this tournament. He wants to hit the 2800 bracket again, and he wants to get second. Queen takes, knight takes, a6, hitting the knight. Knight has to go back to goes to d6, I should say, and b5. Okay. For those of you keeping track, white has a rook against black's bishop and pawn. Can black get that extra pawn down the queen side? We'll have to see. Remember, he is down the exchange. Knight to d4, bishop d6. King h1. g5 by Caruana. Knight c6. It's a small advantage for white. About a pawn, probably because of the exchange with the bishop and the pawn. But that's the tough part. We're on move 27, and Fabiano is seeing that Magnus Carlsen is drawing. So not only is he not going to win this game, he's going to have to work really hard to draw it. But he sees that his chance of at least tying for first is gone. That takes a lot out of him mentally, I think. King g7, g3. h5 by Caruana, rook fe1. So far, black's holding his own. Knight a4, rook d3. I'm going to maneuver around for a while. Knight. We'll just go through some of the moves here. They're pretty much maneuvering around. Knight a4, g4. Rook d3. Okay, it's changed a lot. Those black pawns have advanced on the king side. Unfortunately, that rook at f8 is not doing much, and because these knights control some key squares. Here, 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 and here. And here, and here. That's a lot of control. Knight, rook d1. They're just going through some motions here. We get a pawn exchange. Knight h7. e5. You finally see some open space here. But unfortunately, it's white with the two rooks. So that open space is an advantage for white, I think. Bishop c5. Rook. Pawn. Bishop moves. Pawn takes check. Knight takes. Then knight goes to d4. It's slowly creeping up in score for Tomashevsky. Bishop takes, rook takes, knight d5. Now the simplification is to the advantage of white, being the exchange up. Rook comes over. We'll go through a few moves here. Interesting enough, this was one of the few interesting games in the last round to show you how, I shouldn't say boring, but how uneventful the other games were. This is the last round. They're tired. Rook, knight, rook d6, rook c6. Rook takes. Finally, we get an exchange. Points are starting to creep up. Knight, rook has to check. Rook takes. It's not as good because after knight, pawn takes, knight takes, check, king. That'll draw. So Tomashevsky didn't take it. King h6, rook g8, knight e3 check. King comes up. And we're on move 53, and they're getting tired. Knight c4, been there for 2 weeks. Knight doesn't want to trade. And one knight against the rook. King e2. Here come the pawns for black. Knight moves. Knight d7. Rook c8. King comes over. Rook. Knight f6. Rook c6. Now, white's slowly creeping up in score. It's almost 2-point advantage. This is where I think Caruana stumbles. We're on move 59. It's not an area you would see immediately. King f7. And just like that, it's almost a 3-point advantage. a4 was the better move. But after king a4, beautiful. Beautiful. Knight to d5. Give you an idea. If pawn had taken, rook c7 check. It's just a mess for black. But after knight d5, a takes, knight, rook, knight checks. And that's where black resigned. It's over. It's such a shame, too, because Caruana really had hopes, I think, in this tournament. So there it is, folks, the last game of the last round. Sorry I went so quickly on that, but unfortunately there weren't many decent games as far as excitement goes in this round. So, congratulations to Magnus Carlsen, winner of the 78th Tata Steel Chess Championship. I believe this is the 5th time he's won. So congratulations to him. My buddy Carl Nakamura wasn't playing in this one. He's won it before. But he's playing in Gibraltar, which I have other videos for that game. That's a really interesting open tournament. So, we closed the chapter on the last game, last round of the 78th edition of Tata Steel Chess. I hope you enjoyed all the videos. I want you all to remember, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.